Most people realise that this happens in big, high-profile relationships, and it really happens, well, at any given point. Normally as the two people that were so madly in love and painted like that, literally in the world's media, well, then they start to bicker about celebrity status and why one's favoured and one's not. The usual story. But it's fascinating to see that this is truly now playing out. And as many sources tell me, there are big problems behind the scenes in that Montecito mansion, seemingly because, once again, Harry and Meghan are unhappy with the way they are being portrayed. But what's more interesting about this particular spectacle is they're all advised against it. And once again, some might suggest it's one individual that's truly getting the blame. As ever, let me explain. Lovely to see you today on a very rainy, windy evening here in the very heart of London. By the way, on this day, 1984, a moment in pop happened that we all were literally stunned and shocked about. Remember when Michael Jackson's hair accidentally caught fire on that Pepsi commercial? You do? That was on this day. Put everybody off having wet gel, didn't it? Absolutely. Oh, my bus is here. Back off the bus now and joining you, and of course updating you on our latest breaking royal story of the day. As I said, it's a very difficult time when you think about it, because couples tend to fall out, and it's normally over supremacy, whichever way you look at it. Meghan Markle, if you remember, gave up everything for Prince Harry to join a member as the member of a British monarchy, and Harry seemingly has sort of swallowed that pill. But what's more interesting is now it's behind the scenes, and it's really all down to the fact that there's endless arguments, spats and disagreements over exactly how they're both portrayed in the media. You see, forget the lovey-dovey attitude, it's simply this. It's really all about how you're treated and, more importantly, how you're portrayed in the media. And according to a source, the bottom line is Meghan is absolutely frustrated at the way that she's painted as a difficult diva. The demon duchess, the duchess in high heels, that sort of thing. And you can understand it in many respects. Now, here's where it gets really complicated, because this is the reason why Harry and Meghan are apparently at loggerheads. And as ever, I have to say, allegedly. You see, the bottom line is she, as I say, is painted as a very difficult person by the likes of The Hollywood Reporter, Vanity Fair, etc. And in particular, she was very upset about the shopping of the alleged divorce book and apparently the way that she's treated staff. Meanwhile, she feels that her husband, the former royal known as Prince Harry, the Duke of Sussex, comes off of these things far lighter, including, of course, the recent disaster tourist debacle in which they both attended. But apparently, according to that source, she feels that he got off in a lighter vein. It's always her picture that they used to illustrate all the negativity, you understand. And even in The Hollywood Reporter, he was sort of billed as something that was slightly likeable but an enabler. And then, of course, in the recent Vanity Fair, as a sort of useful idiot. Now, this is normally what happens inside relationships, and this is how cracks truly break in the celebrity circles, because while they're a power couple, love that phrase, don't you? They're not a power couple in the end when they're trying to balance out the PR. Now, according to this source, you see, Meghan feels that Harry should be more supportive, and more importantly, of course, realising that she has the power, she's the one that could possibly push along and really help keep the family coffers afloat. She believes that her brand, her presence, like her cooking show, will be the one eventually that keeps everything going. Meanwhile, Harry can be the sort of, how should we put this, plus one. He's more than happy for this, but apparently, according to Meghan, the way the media portrays her is making her very distressed, and according to that source, forever bursting into tears and wondering exactly how she can reverse the fortunes of their portrayal in the media. Otherwise than that, you have to say Prince Harry must have something of a tough time making sure that his wife is placated, because each time she flips on that computer or indeed opens a magazine, it's always her, apparently, according to her, that's been blasted with the phrase, "Why me?" Neil Sean in the very heart of London.